Hey everybody, this is Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the latest episode of The Walking Dead, Twice as Far. So, after this episode, we have 2 episodes left in Season 6. So, the conflict should be ramping up to a kind of conclusion. We don't really get that until the end of the episode, so I'm just kind of disappointed on that. So, at the beginning of the episode, we kind of got the look at Alexandrian life. Everything's doing good and alright. And we get Daryl talking with Carol about his bike that they'd recently reacquired from the Saviors. And Daryl's like, I should have killed the dude who took this. And that kind of doesn't gel with Carol because Morgan's kind of influenced her to be more reluctant at killing. And that kind of factors in later on in the episode as she makes a interesting choice. So the main focus of this was on 2 group scavenging, and Denise enlisted the reluctant aid of Rosita and Daryl, and they're like, we don't want to babysit you, but we can't let you go out alone. So in the beginning, they come across a tree that's across the road, and Rosita wants to take the train tracks as they're easier. And Daryl's like, screw that, and just went into the woods, and Denise followed him, and they eventually met back up with Rosita. But before that, we then cut to Abraham and Eugene, and we weren't quite sure what they were looking for. And then they get into a warehouse, and we find out that Eugene is looking for tools and materials to make bullets. And if you're in the apocalypse, there are 3 main things that you need for trade: gas, bullets, and food. You have those 3, or any one of them, and you're a trade powerhouse. And that would be really good for Alexandria as they could arm up the hilltop and trade with other groups in the areas when they find them. And then Eugene kind of turns it and tries to prove that he is a survivor as well by killing this walker that's covered in lead on its head. So it's not as easy to take out as usual. And Abraham's like, screw this, you're going to get killed, and kills him, the walker, and Eugene's really pissed off and says, screw you, man, and Abraham's like, alright, fuck you, and leaves him alone. Then we kind of just center on Denise's group. Now they're at the apothecary, they're getting a lot of good medical supplies, and they hear this noise. So Denise goes to investigate and sees the horror of the apocalypse land that she hasn't seen before, which is this woman walker that's got a cast on. And evidently the woman had drowned her baby in the sink that was in there, and she couldn't handle it. And Rosita and Daryl gave her time to get back up. So then they are walking back through, and they're actually walking on the train tracks, because Daryl said, alright, it's faster, which is kind of interesting because he usually does the survivor thing instead of like the easier thing. So as they're going through there, they pass these cars, and Denise sees a walker and a cooler, and she's like, alright, hold up, and she goes, she opens up the door, and she's attacked by the walker, and the other 2 are about to get the walker off her and take it out, and she's like, no, let me handle this. She's able to take it out. And she opens the cooler and sees that it's soda as well, and she's like, alright, score for me, and they were pissed off at her, but she's like, I need to prove that I can do this. You guys are strong and everything, but I need to prove that I can help the group, that I can be contribution, that I can contribute stuff to the group. And that's right before she gets shot through the eye by a crossbow bolt by, you guessed it, the same dude who had stolen Daryl's bike as another group of saviors, da-da-da, comes back again. Now, if we are keeping track here, yes, this is the 3rd time the saviors have come into this. Can you guess what happens? Oh yes, we have an interesting standoff. And they have evidently captured Eugene. So, things aren't looking good for Daryl or Rosita, but Denise is dead. Yep, shot through the eye. Not even like Carl. I mean, that Carl's eye would just take out. This went through her head, so guess what? No doctor for Alexandria. So, Dwight, the dude who had stolen Daryl's bike, is the leader and saying, okay, we got the standoff. And then you see that Eugene saw Abraham kind of behind these barrels, and at first you think, when he's talking to Dwight, that he's trying to sell at Abraham. Then out of nowhere, Eugene bites the dude's dick. I couldn't make this shit up. He bites his dick. I was like, surprising and effective. Good deal. And then they take out the good amount of the saviors as they run away. They've evidently now figured out where Alexandria is. Takes almost a whole season, but people finally figure out where it is. It's like a black hole. But they run off. Abraham's okay, Eugene's okay, Daryl's okay, Rosita's okay. And they're able to get back to Alexandria. And as they get back to Alexandria, evidently Carol has decided to leave the group. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. The saviors have been defeated now 3 times, so karma's going to pile up, and I think a good amount of people are going to die. But one of my main issues is this felt like filler and just red shirts. I don't feel like there's much danger for anyone in the main group until a big set piece comes. And even then, they're shuffling things around the board to make it that way. So, this episode wasn't bad, but it still kept the filler route until we get to the eventual Negan reveal and, like, the full force group of the saviors. So, I don't know. I'm still kind of upset with how the season has been going because I think that they can do better. But I'll probably finish out the season to kind of see where it goes from here. So, those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you liked it, didn't like it. If you agree with me, disagree with me. Also, like this video, subscribe, do all those cool stuff, and I hope you have a good day.